Okay, so today we're hiding under a boulder to get a bit of shade. We're going to talk a little bit more about trad placement when it comes especially to building the anchors and just placing trad gear in general, and essentially using the grading or rating system for placements that we were both taught through our guiding and vertical rescue qualifications. So this is just going to be a bit of a short one, explaining the rating system we use and demonstrating that with a hex, a nut and a cam. So we'll get into that now before it gets too hot. Okay, so the way that we were taught when it comes to placing trad gear, whether it's building an anchor or placing gear for climbing trad, is 4 points of contact. I mean, each piece of gear theoretically might have more than that. If you look at a nut, you've got about 6 points that you can really get contact with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's really good placement if you can get all of those on the rock and placed well, depending where the force is going to pull, if it's going up, down, sideways, whatnot. So I'm using size 10 off-width nut, green 0.75 cam. So with a cam, this has 4 points, 1, 2, 3, 4. The idea is that you want to get not completely closed cam, but you don't want it open either. So you don't want to over cam it and you don't want to have it open. You want to find a nice kind of middle ground, sort of within this kind of range, and have ideally 4 points connecting. If you're building an anchor that's made of several points, you don't need every piece to have 4 points of contact. Because all the other pieces help that anchor and build its strength instead of it just being one single piece. So hex, again, this all different shapes and slightly different areas where the rock can connect, but essentially you're wanting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 points connected to the rock. So this is what, a size 5 hex. So now I'm just going to vaguely place them and hopefully we can get a bit of a close-up shot of how they're placed in the rock. So if I place this one here, I'm really happy with that. It's got 4 points of contact. I can sort of jiggle it, pull on it, and be quite happy that that's going to stay in place, and even that it's clicking down more into place as I pull it, which is a good thing. So that's what you want when you are dealing with a hex. Next up we have the cam. One of the easiest pieces to place that takes, once you sort of figure out being able to look at a crack and get the exact size without even really thinking about it. These are super quick and easy to place, so they're used quite a lot. So we're just gonna, this looks like potentially a little bit over cammed there. So ideally you want that to be maybe a little bit more, see that, so this is, see how that's almost fully open, so that's not what you want, and then again, this is not what you want. So you want to find a nice kind of middle ground. So I'm looking for something probably about here, that has the 4 lobes connecting. If I give this a bit of a jiggle, it moves around, and look, this isn't an ideal cam placement. I wouldn't be super happy with this. just because it is a little bit of a flared crack. But what you can sometimes do is move them slightly back. There we go. And get a bit of a better placement back there. Now the thing with cams is that they can walk, meaning that if this is moved by the rope, it will actually move the cam and kind of change its position. So a way that you can deal with that is by lengthening it out in line with where your rope is running. So if I jiggle this now and say that that's where my rope's running through directly up, that doesn't walk the cam. So again, that isn't an ideal placement, but for what we're aiming for today, if I can get this in a little bit, just play around. Yeah, see, that's all right. I like that. I like that one much better. I can jiggle that around. The cam's walking a little bit, but I prefer that placement, and that's got 4 points connected to the rock. Again, not super ideal, but I kind of can't be bothered finding the exact correct size to fit that crack. So just taking all those things, all those factors in, you know, I'm not a super strong or a super experienced trad climber, so this is just really quite basic stuff, just the 4 points that you're looking for. So this is the off-width nut. I have a feeling that the hex and the nut are probably going to give the best placement in this current place that we're in. So the beauty of the nuts is that you can kind of see the way the shape of the rock goes. And because they've got the curve, you can kind of play around with that and see where any curves in the rock are, which actually gives you a better placement. So that one, I am very happy with that one. Set it in a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Get a little bit deeper in. There we go. So I'm really happy with that once I've set that in. Again, I would probably extend this out a little bit just to stop that movement, but I'm quite happy with that, especially if we're using it for an anchoring purpose. When the force is being pulled down or a little bit side to side, that's not going anywhere. And you can see that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of contact. So I'm very happy with that placement. Getting it out is going to be the issue. That's why we have the nut tool. Yeah, so that's basically just the concept behind the four points of contact that you're wanting whenever you're placing trad gear. Again, I'm not super experienced. This is just sort of covering things that we were taught without getting super technical about it all. Yeah, so that's a little bit about placing trad gear and just how we rate placements. Now I'm going to build an anchor so that we can film our next video. So yeah, cheers, thanks for watching, like, subscribe, share. Again, you know, we're not trainers and assessors. This should not be taken as proper training. If you want to learn this stuff properly, go do a course. You know, we've linked companies that we highly recommend to all our videos and our YouTube channel. So check them out if you're interested in actually learning this stuff from professional trainers and assessors and instructors. We're just here to cover some super basic stuff just to help you out a little bit and have a bit of fun with it. Cheers. So just quickly again, we are back for today. We've been back at the boulder that I was at a while ago, or maybe you haven't seen the boulder yet, depending how I choose to upload these videos. Continuity could be a little bit weird. So anyway, looking again, trad anchor made from 3 pieces. This time I've gone for 2 cams and off with nut just to make things a bit quicker and easier. And then again, all put through a sling or cordelette to a master point, where I've then attached Beaner to a safety line that Rowan's been using to teach Prosix. Yeah, just thought I'd add that little bit in for the 4-point contact video.